Hello, everybody. This is Bill. I'm so happy you came back again because we're showing you some more information now. On this next part that we're going to be showing you, or that I'm going to be showing you, is it's kind of brand new. Remember, I told you that the company was in beta or in pre-launch. It's not actually the excuse me. The company's not actually going to launch until next month. I'm doing this in August, and they're going to actually launch in September around the 15th or maybe even more toward the end of the month. But they're getting everything else. But they added a brand new thing to the pay plan, which adds up to a significant amount of money. Now I'm going to jump back to a slide that we had. This is where we left off on the last video. And so I'm going to jump back to it and use this. And we're going to talk about cycling. Remember, each one of these was we cycled one time and that was 400 on the left and 400 on the right. And then this time was when the volume built up and we cycled 16 times that week. And remember, if you come into the company at the full case level or the full box level, or just for the sake of argument, the $300 level, then you can cycle up to 20 times in a single week. If you come in at the $150 level or half box level, then you can cycle 10 times in any week. Now, it's important that you think about that because once you come in, whatever level you come in on, that's it. Uh, you can't change that. You can't go from, well, I came in at 150 and I'm making all this money. Now I want to go up to the $300 level and move up so I can make $2,000. You can't do that. It's this decision, it needs to be made now. Whether you want to make the $2,000 or $1,000 maximum a week. But what I'm going to talk to you about now is a bonus. Now, everything that I've talked to you about all the way up to this point, the pool bonuses, the retail sales, and all the weekly volumes, all of this stuff that we've talked about, all of that, there's absolutely no requirement to buy anything or ever purchase another thing from the company, and you qualify for every bit of this, every bit of this. It goes on forever, and all of this stuff here. So, all of that, you're not required to purchase another thing. However, if you wanted to uh, participate in this bonus that I'm about to show you, you have to purchase $100 worth of product. Now, there's a way you can do that, and you can either purchase samples, you can purchase another half case or a full case or whatever you need, or product samples, anything that would give you this $100. Now, this $100 here would qualify you for uh, both this bonus that I'm about to show you, as well as the residual income that I'm going to show you on the next slide. But one of the things that I tell people is don't worry about this number. Don't worry about having to do that because when the time comes that you need to purchase again, you'll know it. You'll see it because you'll see all this stuff and you'll see that you're starting to get this kind of income in. But basically, the way it works, just like you cycled here 16 times, this person that you sponsored in, Bob and Rick, because these are your personal sponsors, these somebody else sponsored. But each one of these will begin to cycle as well. And actually, they'll be cycling through money a lot sooner than this. But when they cycle, if you have purchased the $100 requirement for the month, and that's not every week, but that month, and you're qualified for all the way through to that date on the next month. But every time they cycle, let's say that if you cycled 16 times here, Bob's gonna have cycled, I don't know, maybe 14 times. But let's say he just did 10, and we'll just use that because it's a round number. Then he will get $1,000. The same way you would have got $1,000 if you had cycled 10 times. You cycled 16 here. But what the company says is since you trained him, then they'll give you $50 every time he cycles. So if he did it 10 times, that would be $500. And let's say he did the same thing and he did it 10 times. Okay? So again, that's another $500. And this is a bonus, and there's no end on that. There is an end. You know, I've told you about the $1,000 or the $2,000 max that you'll hit here. But this is just an extra bonus. So let's say this was the case, and you got the bonuses uh, for these people. So that's $1,000 that you'd get here, and you would add that $1,000 to that, and that would give you $2,600 for the week. Now, when I said, when I told you don't worry about that $100, by that I mean if these people that you sponsored are not cycling or didn't cycle enough, let's say that they cycled one time, it's real early. You know, you've just been at this thing a month, and they cycled one time and they cycled one time, then you're going to get $50 each time. So that's $100. So you could buy $100 worth of product, and then the company would also give you $100 worth because then you would be qualified. So you may or may not think that that's worth it. However, if they cycled, uh, let's say 3 times, we'll just use small numbers. They cycled 3 times, 3 times, and now remember a cycle is every $400 on your left and $400 on your right gets you $100, and that's called a cycle. So if they did that 3 times that week, then they would get a check for $300, and you would have a potential income of 150 and 150 from each of them, which would give you $300. Now, in that case, I might be willing to say, okay, I do need to get $100 worth of product, and I may even get $100 worth of samples, because if I do that, I'm going to qualify for these, and I'm trading $100 for $300. Or if they did it more times, it'd be $500, $600. But basically, what I tell people is don't worry about this. You'll know when it's time to do that. Plus, you may need some samples and that sort of thing just to begin with. So that's all that is, and that's all that's about. And it's a bonus for people that you personally sponsored. Now, you could have, if you personally sponsored 4 people, then obviously that would be, if you had 4 people that cycled 3 times, that's uh, that's 12, that's $600 in bonus money. So you definitely want to look at going ahead and purchasing samples for, I think the samples are 125. You could also purchase 7 tubes of the product, and that puts you right at $100. Is that's actually, I think, comes out a little bit more, but it's just over $100. Whatever it takes to get you $100, you would qualify for these. And like I said, if you had more personal sponsorships and they were all cycling, then then it would be worth it. But don't worry about it. You're gonna know about it when it's time to do it. It's one of those things that's just gonna happen, and when you get to that point, you're gonna know all about it. Okay, hey, thanks for checking everything out, and I'm gonna save this video, and then I'm gonna go do another one, and we'll be finished. But this next one is one that you definitely don't want to miss. See you in just a minute.